guys what's going on. I was bored and I was like, man, I really want to work on my car today, but I don't have anything to do to it because I'm waiting on a few parts to come in. So I'm sitting here watching this little drift video or drift movie I got. And what do you know? The mailman knocks on the door and bam, a package comes in. So I'm like, great. It's a nice day outside. I get some work done and I'll show you guys what I got. So here's the receipt. So here's $68 I paid for this. So that's going into the if you watch one of my past videos about money I've been wasting here lately, you'll just add that to the collection. So I'm sorry if anything crazy is going on with the video. My phone's like messing up. So it's definitely time for me to upgrade my camera camera game or whatever. But here's what I ordered. It is a brand new oil pan. Great. In one of my past videos, I was kind of trying to figure out an oil leak, and I think we got one figured out, but I think this should solve the issue of the second oil leak, the oil pan. So we're going to go out there and get everything set up, get the car jacked up, and get started on this bad boy. Got the car all jacked up and stuff. Um, as you all can see, sorry if you can't hear the audio that well. It's kind of windy out here, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. But the car is jacked up on jack stands. I would highly suggest that whenever you're working underneath the car, you use jack stands. But we're going to go ahead and take off the old oil pan. I don't know if you can see that little spot on the ground, but it's still leaking already. I mean, you can see it leaking, and it's been sealed for who knows how long now. But hopefully this all changes with this new oil pan. So the first thing you want to do is drain your oil. So I'm going to go ahead and get my oil pan and get the drain plug loose and start draining the oil. Alright, so to drain the oil, there's only one 14 millimeter bolt that has to come out, and it's this one right here. That one right there. So I loosen that up. If you're changing your oil and you just got done running or driving it, I'd probably give it a little while to cool down so you don't burn your fingers on the oil. But it ain't extremely hot. It's gonna burn your fingers off. But there we go. So gonna let that oil drain. Oh my goodness, that oil is so clean, but it's gonna get wasted because it keeps dripping. So I'll give that a little bit to let it dry. I mean, not dry, but drip out. And I guess I'll go ahead and get started on the lower oil pan, which is this right here. Whoops. This black thing right here. Here's your lower oil pan. And there's only a few 10 millimeter bolts that need to come off to remove that. So I'm going to get started on that. I'll put this camera down for a second. And I apologize if the audio quality is pretty bad, or if you can't hear me or anything. I'm underneath the car right beside the street, and it's a little windy, so those three things added together, I don't know. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Alright, so the oil's almost done draining. I'm going to start removing the 10 millimeter bolts that hold the lower oil pan on. And I would suggest, as you're removing the bolts, you have maybe a little container or a plastic baggie that you can put the bolts in so they don't get dirty or you don't lose them. It's an easy way to keep up with them, keep them clean. So I'll go ahead and get started on that. See if I can hold the camera and do this at the same time. I don't think I can, but we'll try. So, wrong way anyways. There we go. So there's one. A little dirty. So I'm going to put this camera down because it's a little hard to do with one hand. And I'm going to get all these bolts out. Alright, so I got all the bolts that hold on the oil pan, and there should be 10 of them by my count. And so now we're going to go ahead and remove it. When you're removing the oil pan, you want to be very careful, and this is where I messed up. Whatever you're going to use to remove the oil pan, just make sure you don't scar the surface of, or the mating surface of the lower oil pan or the upper oil pan, because that's aluminum. It is really easy to scratch, and if you do scratch it, then that's where you're gonna get the oil leak at. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove this oil pan. I have a little scraper that I'm gonna try, but I want to try something else that I was reading on the internet and it may work. So let's see how that goes. All right, so what I'm gonna try to do is use this block of wood right here, put it up against the oil pan, and try to tap on it with this hammer. And hopefully that'll break the RTV seal, and I can pop off the oil pan. If that doesn't work, I have, like I said earlier, a little scraper that I'll try to get in between, or maybe a flathead screwdriver. So let's see how this goes. All right, so I just tapped it with a block of wood, and it seems to work. You can see almost. I'll try to zoom in on it a little bit for you. I don't know if you can see or not, but the separation between the lower oil pan and the upper oil pan, there's a little gap right there. Now I can just get in there with a flathead screwdriver and just kind of pry it apart. So I'm going to do that, and we'll remove the oil pan. All right, so the oil pan is ready to be removed. Even though we've drained this oil, pretty much most of it's gone. There's still going to be a little bit in there, so just be ready for a little bit of spillage. See if I can't do this with one hand and hold the camera at the same time. Might have to. There we go. So see, there's a little bit more oil left in there. Go ahead and drain all that out. There we go. The old oil pan's off. Bring this over here. Something like that. All right, so next thing we'll have to do is clean off all that old RTV and put our new oil. Get ready to put our new oil pan on. So I'm gonna set this camera down. We're gonna do that. All right, so the oil pan, the lower oil pan, the mating surface, is pretty clean. You want to make sure you do a good job on this, because any leftover RTV will probably cause a leak in your oil pan. So don't rush through this. Do a thorough job. Get it nice and clean. So the next thing is to RTV the oil pan. And we'll be putting the oil pan on and bolting it back down. Alright, so because I couldn't find my Toyota brand RTV, I'm going to be using this Permex Ultra Black, which I'm assuming will work just as well. The main reason I like using that Toyota brand of RTV is it's just so easy to clean off. I mean, when I was cleaning off the oil pan over there on the mating surface, I mean, literally, I was almost wiping it off. Didn't really take much effort to get it off any of it. But so I'm gonna go ahead and put on this RTV. I usually cut the nozzle at about the second notch at the top. And when you're doing this, you just want to. The most important thing is you want a nice, consistent, continuous bead. So I'm gonna see if I can zoom in on that a little bit better. So when you're doing it, you just want a nice bead right here where that line is, and you want to go underneath the bolt hole. Go all the way around, underneath, all the way around. One continuous bead till you get back to the very beginning. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the phone down because I'm going to have to use two hands to do it. And I would highly recommend you get one of these. This little tool right here. You just kind of twist it and it squeezes out the RTV. So it's really good to use. It gives you a nice continuous bead. So you just twist it, it rolls it on out. So I'm going to put this camera down and we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so there we go. I accidentally messed up right here. I went on top instead of underneath, and I did that right there too, but it's okay. I'll just make a little bead that goes right there, and a little bead that goes right there too. But that's pretty good. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And you don't have to have a whole lot of RTV, just enough to make a good seal. You can see there are a few times, like right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but right here where there's a little air pocket that it stopped one bead and I had to start another, and that kind of happened a few times all the way around. But that's pretty good. That should pretty much do it. Yeah, I messed up right there. I should have went underneath the bolt, but I didn't. But it's alright. I'll be able to fix that. not extremely crucial to the point where it's not going to seal. Just I need to make sure just if you do that, make sure you go underneath it with a bead of RTV. Uh, I'm going to wait about 5 to maybe 10 minutes. I'll let this stuff set up a little bit before we stick it on. So there we go. I fixed those few issues that I messed up. So that's how I did it. Like I said, it ain't gonna hurt nothing if it ain't absolutely perfect. Just needs to be a nice good seal. So let this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it on the bottom or bolt it to the upper upper oil pan. Jeez, I can't talk today. And one thing I forgot to mention is when you're doing this, you want to make sure the mating surfaces are both clean and dry. Otherwise, your RTV may not set up like it's supposed to, and you may have a oil leak. So that's something that you don't want. All right, so it's been about 5 to 10 minutes since I put the RTV on it. What we're gonna go ahead and do now is put the oil. Oops, sorry. Put the oil pan on where it needs to be. So you want to try and get this. Uh-oh. Like I was saying, you want to try and get this right on the first time. Otherwise, you'll be smearing the RTV all over the bottom of the upper oil pan. You really don't want that. You just want it to be on there and sealed like it needs to be. So you want to try and get it up there, set it the way it needs to be, and get your bolt started. It's a little hard to do, but it can be done. I can't do it with one hand holding the camera and one hand on the oil pan. So I have to set the oil pan down, and I'll have to try to get this on the first try as best I can. But if you don't get on the first try, just be careful with it because you want it to seal nice and neat. All right, so there we go. Surprisingly, I was able to get the oil pan on just right the first time. It didn't smear anywhere. So hey, first time for everything, I guess. So the new oil pan's installed. All the bolts are tightened up. You just want to snug these on. They don't need to be extremely tight because you don't want to strip the thread or mess something up. Uh, my new oil pan came with a new oil drain plug, so I don't have to worry about using the old one. But make sure you put your old drain plug back in if you do have to use it. But that's all there is to it. So this job is wrapped up. Um, I'm gonna wait about a day or two before I put oil in it, just to let the RTV really set and seal the way it needs to. So, and I would recommend you do the same. But that's the end of this job. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions or need some advice, just comment below. Or if you have a better way of doing it than I did it, just let me know. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Good luck with your project, and I guess I'm out of here.